Finally, brethren, whatsoever things are true, whatsoever things are honest, whatsoever things are just, whatsoever things are pure, whatsoever things are lovely, whatsoever things are of good report, if there be any virtue, and if there be any praise, think on these things. Philippians 4:8. This is Self-Mastery 101, and I'm just giving you updates on my spiritual journey and how I'm making progress with moving forward on this game board. I have to say, everyone, this is not easy at all. I've had many difficult tests and trials from the Lord that I have overcame, and looking forward to no longer being homeless and being able to have all of the comforts in one spot. It's nothing like having everything that you need. So I've always been appreciative of everything that the Lord has provided for me, especially living accommodations. It's nothing like where I have to use the bathroom at a different place, take a shower at a different place, eat at a different place, and barely sleep. So this whole homeless thing, it's really not easy. You're basically not allowed to sleep. There's less freedom when one doesn't have a place to stay. I just basically discovered that I've been in a prison in the United States my whole entire life because I never actually had true freedom. Most people have not been bothered like how I've been bothered, and how many people have gang stalked and they are attempting to control what God has for me. God has a plan, and that plan is my plan. Any plans and suggestions that seculars or people make, it's not going to fly. It's definitely not flying with me, and it's not flying with the Lord, especially after I already took complete submission to the Lord and gave my life to Him. And when I gave my life, it was giving my problems everything. I'm not dealing with it anymore because, it seemed like when I was trying to resolve it, I didn't really have what I should have had. And it doesn't make sense to fight or argue with a person when it's over you. Like, these people have been absolutely insane with me. It's my life. It's not their life. It's not their concern. They have roofs over their heads. They don't need to be concerned about me. They should be happy that they have roofs over their heads, because this is not easy. And yes, I did get caught sleep a couple of times. And no, I'm not apologetic of it, because that's what the human body is made to do, is to sleep. I mean, did I sleep all day? No. Did I even sleep all night? No. Even when I nodded my head off, I got chewed out because I nodded my head off. Like, the ridiculousness in the United States is real, and those things actually need to change. I mean, I had a major powwow with the Lord, and told Him that my next destination is not going to be in the United States. I can't stand this country. I hate this country. I've never liked this country, even as a child. And when I visited other when I did visit other places, it was like I still stood out, but I fit in much better. The flavor was way better. So it's very interesting, this lifestyle. I'm definitely looking forward to getting a roof over my head, like literally a roof over my head, and having my own space, and not having people telling me when to sleep, when to get up, when to eat. It's prison. And the Lord is showing me that I'm at my tail end of this mission. This is not going to be the last mission, but this is the final steps for my initiation into the kingdom. And I did all of my parts, all of my jobs that I was supposed to do, and that was all my life. So I had to keep a memory log so I can remember a lot of people's birthdays, dates, what happened, what people were wearing, what kind of weather it was. Because when the Lord is asking me, what do I think about such and such, and it could be just completely out of the blue. And then I'll have that instant memory as if it happened yesterday. It doesn't even matter when. I always remember, which can be good and which can be bad, because I'll remember things but end up going back to that time as if it happened yesterday and feeling that emotion. So that's not always good. Sometimes it's good to forget. I did have a couple of people who followed me, but I already know in this illegal program that is basically expected. It just really is disheartening to know that people have no consideration for themselves in this country. It's really scary how these people behave. Do unto others as you want done unto you. So they basically gave the message to everybody that they want to be gang stalked, mistreated, followed everywhere, and have lewd acts done to them, and people making all of this noise and spying on them. That's pretty sad and pretty pathetic. This country is in major trouble, and they're and I'm glad that we do have our president in office who is doing what he is supposed to be doing. America needs to return home. America needs to mind American business and get out of these other countries. And yes, if he's sending people back, that's because America is under heavy judgment. It's not about prejudice or anything. America is under heavy judgment, and America needs to be dealt with. That's the unfortunate part, but it's fortunate, because we cannot move on as a nation if we did not pay our debt for every misfortune that we have caused around the world. Many nations have called judgment on this country, and I'm paying a lot of consequences. Basically, I was paying consequences for other people's problems. So I had to clear all of that debt in order for me to be able to move forward. So I had to remove everybody from my life who was putting karmic debt on me. I'm not eating anybody's debt. I have my own stuff that I have to deal with. And once I removed everybody's debt, it's just like the after effects. And I said, oh my goodness, none of this was mine. So when I was getting treated like dirt, it was like people were putting me in the front to take the bullet. That's how my family also treated me. I'm not taking any more bullets for anybody. I work for God and God alone. But I had to go through it so that you can be aware of how sometimes terrible people can be. Where you thinking that this person's like a great family member, and then when you're realizing every time you tell that family member something, your task or your progress ends up dropping, or you're getting accused of things, even you get accused of things at work, you're not realizing that it's because somebody in your family, because it starts off with the family, somebody in the family put their karmic debt that they are supposed to pay, they put that on you. And that's when you have to take a step back and assess the situation. And that's what I had to do. I had to take steps back and stay away from everybody and assess. And then I would come around somebody and assess. And the common denominator was my family members. I did not have any issues until I start talking to them. So I had to cut them off. And even when I'm having certain issues, it's nowhere near as bad as what I did have. Nowhere near as bad. And a lot of these gang stalkers, they could never spend even an hour in my shoes. So when they're following me, they don't even know what they're looking at, because I do the Lord's work and it's between the Lord and I. They're not spiritual people. They don't know anything. And even if somebody is spiritual, the Lord blocked everybody off. So there is no reading into it or looking into it. And I'm actually happy about that. And I'm happy about not knowing, how I just do as I'm told. And the reward is I feel the Lord's presence more and more each day. And going through this huge ascension is not easy on the body, the mind, the soul, the spirit. It's like everything is super alarming on the whole human aura, the whole human presence of mind. It's set alarm bells off on different parts of my body, this ascension. And there's nothing that anybody can do. I'm ascending at a very high rate of speed, because I'm no longer supposed to be here. So I trying to figure out how much longer I do have, but my destination is definitely out of here. And I'm totally excited about that, because finally I'm going to get exactly what I want, and no more human interference, no more human suggestions. It's amazing. So that's what I'm looking forward to. No more humans in my business. Like, I did check out shelters, and there's nothing in the United States that even fits me. The United States has nothing available to me. They have no amenities here for me, which is why I have to leave this country. There's other countries that have what I need. United States has nothing for me. I mean, the shelters are good if one has children, and if they're abused, and if they have a substance abuse problem or some type of addiction. I don't fit any of that criteria. So I'm not going to try to fit myself in to please a person who recommended it to me. It's thank you, but that's good for someone else. It's not good for me. I'm not going to just get a place. Humans have been feeling like it's like they're trying to be control freaks. There is no control over this. God's in control, and they don't need to worry about me. I'm doing just fine. I'm happy with my life. Don't worry about my life. This is only temporary. You cannot stop what God has for me. I'm not allowing any of you to stop what God has for me. You're not changing it, distracting it. You're not delaying nothing. My mission is over with you people. I already got what I needed out of this whole simulation. I'm not staying. You all belong together. I don't belong with you. And I'm okay with that. I never fit in with any group of humans, especially in the United States. I always stood out. And no one ever truly understood me. I don't want them to understand me anymore. I used to try to get people to understand me, but it doesn't even make sense when now I will be departing. It's an amazing journey. It's rough. It's not even a roller coaster ride. This is just a straight up rough ride. And then it's once some stuff smooths out for me, I may get a day of happiness, one day or 2 days, if that. And then it goes back to, because of my ascension, my whole body just gets so messed up. And I couldn't stand looking at light a couple days ago. That happened. So from Friday to basically Saturday night, I could not stand light. And then somebody told me it was a migraine. I never had a migraine, and my heart goes out to those who say they have chronic migraines. That is no joke. And I had to wear sunglasses daytime and nighttime. And I'm just keeping my faith and loving the Lord each day, even though I have my powwows and I'm completely honest with him and I go crazy. I'm not even going to lie. I go to yelling and everything else. The Lord understands me. He knows exactly what I want, and he knows what I mean, and he knows the symptoms of ascension. So he knows to bear with me. And after everything happens, I see the steps on what was taken, and then I'm thanking the Lord and apologizing to him and begging him for forgiveness. So he understands us. He knows how much hair we all have on our head. He knows everything. And I look forward to telling you more about my journey, and you all have a blessed one.